What's good? Osiris here. And again, of course, I'm always in the middle and right on brand for me. This is completely off topic, out of the blue, random article. The world's first publicly traded person. This has gone on for quite some time, and this is the first I've ever heard of it. This is from the marketplace, and this is an article that was written by David Branciato and Rose Conlin. My apologies for butchering that name if I did. Here's what this is about. Well, let me give you like a little intro here. A few months ago, Mike Merrill, a freelance creative producer in advertising, saw a job opening that piqued his interest. Should he put in an application? What do you mean? Yeah, just do it or decide if you want to put in the application or not. He asked his shareholders, the 1,059 people at the time of publish who've purchased shares of Merrill's life, some who are friends, but many who are strangers. Among the shareholders who wanted Merrill to apply for the job were users Young 9599, DREAMSLOTH, and FitCorgi. But the no votes, including from users Douglas Dollars and Becki907, won out. He didn't apply for the job. Well, what are you talking about? Yes, this dude put his life up to be publicly traded. What a concept. He did it as an experiment, and he put his life in the hands of somebody with the tag Dream Sloth, Fit Corgi, and Douglas Dollars. And he went with it. So he didn't have to go with it probably, but then his shares would have went down. So it was originally going to be a way for my immediate community to help get involved in these various online projects that I was doing. Merrill told Marketplace Morning Report host David Branchiato. It quickly became clear. I guess you could say the invisible hand of the market drew my personal life far more into it than I had originally intended. Bruh, you sold yourself. Literally. You sold shares of your life. So they want to know what you're eating, when's the last time you've been to the doctor, how often you're working out. I mean, they need to know the details because now they're invested all of $1 in. So it looks like he sold 100,000 shares, I thought, for $1 a piece. This is capitalism at its finest. You know, I try to defend capitalism, and then I come across articles where people are putting their lives up as an IPO. I kid, but is this much different than when a company goes looking for money from a venture capitalist? What's the difference? It's in your company, but your company could be like your life, your baby. Like that's what you do all day. So it's not as different as you might think. Merrill said it absolutely has a dystopian element to it. I would say so, but our whole world does right now. And I think that's an important thing to put up. This is not a model in any way I'm promoting that everyone should do. Sorry, bro, it's too late. Now I'm wondering about it. Can I make some money off of it? Probably not me, but can we promote this idea? I like to think of this as one experiment among many ways to organize community or do things together. Interesting take on that. And it's worked for me in these very specific ways, but I don't think that we should be buying and selling shares of people all the time. Yeah, I understand. I mean, if people are going to ask you, well, who are you dating? You're going to have to kind of vet your date out to make sure that aligns with the interest of your shareholders. I mean, in theory, it could make you accountable and make your life better. Why not? Is it really different than where we're heading? Have you seen that China has a credit score? China is starting to rank citizens with a social credit system. So the reason I'm bringing that up is his share price really amounts to a social credit system to those shareholders, right? That's all that is. If you weren't aware about what China is doing, China has started ranking citizens with a creepy social credit system. Here's what you can do wrong, and here are the embarrassing, demeaning ways they can punish you. So let's look. So they have it for business and personal. So the goal is to provide a holistic assessment of an individual or company's trustworthiness based on a numerical score. The China social credit system, it's still in development, arguably an extension of existing social ranking and ratings in which China have existed for millennia. So China's kind of already been doing this kind of stuff. It's an authoritarian country. And I've been talking about how I think our establishment is jealous of the ability that China has. You don't think our government would love to do this? Like if you could talk to them off record, if you could get Project Veritas, if you could get Project Veritas to do a candid camera on any establishment person or even some politicians, they probably would say that's pretty cool. I I'm stuck on this. There is a, obviously you can't trust the government, but in a vacuum, in utopia, there could be some value to this. Really, isn't that somewhat what money is? Currency? Currency to me is just a social ranking system, right? Am I wrong there? Like the better you do social ranking, and it doesn't matter how you get your money, that's where you accumulate your points. So we kind of already have this. Consequences of a poor social credit score could be serious. It may affect travel prospects, employment, access to finance, and the ability to enter contracts. On the other hand, a positive score could make a range of business transactions for individuals and corporations much easier. It's almost like you get your full liberties the higher your score is. This is like a credit score, but on steroids. So, isn't this a cancel culture score? Isn't that what this is? You could call it a social ranking score, but this is what we're doing already with cancel culture. If you say something, like we have freedom of speech, right? But you don't get to guarantee to keep your job. So you could say something that people find offensive, they can complain and they can get you fired, which is, I mean, it's fine, but that's what this is, right? If you step out of line socially, you won't have access. You won't have access to Facebook. You won't have Donald Trump gone from social media. James O'Keefe from Project Veritas just got eliminated from Twitter. Multiple times he got removed from Twitter. Isn't that really what we're doing without keeping full track of it? How many topics are you afraid of to even bring up for fear of cancel culture? When we talk about critical race theory, which is big in the news, I'm talking about it a lot. There are parents who don't agree with it being taught in their schools and they are talking about it secretly because they don't want their cancel culture score to go up or their social credit rating to go down. However, you look at it, isn't it the same thing? Or their share price to go down. The share price would actually be a more fair way to do it because you could get people buying shares of you that agree that critical race theory shouldn't be in the schools. And then it would be actually probably more fair to do it. So you see where I'm coming from. Dude, you're on to something. He did this in 2008. You're on to something, I think. So what would you rather do? Would you rather create an IPO out of your life and sell the shares? Or would you rather live under a cancel culture score? For me, it's an easy decision. I would rather probably do neither, but I'd rather sell shares of my life. I can make those increase. I can make money off of that. It actually would motivate me. A cancel culture score, that's just like you're walking on eggshells. And that's kind of what's going on right now. I know it seems crazy, but did you see what the New York Times did? The New York Times has an article that's entitled These CEOs Didn't Sign a Big Defense of Voting Rights. So hundreds of leaders and companies signed a letter opposing strict limits. This article from New York Times is not talking about the people who signed the letter to oppose strict limits. It's creating a list of companies that didn't sign the list. Like we're already here. Just put the score on it, please. Make it more fair. Wow. So I just thought that was interesting. I know my last video, I was like, I'm not trying to scare you. So I might be failing here. It's not to scare. I just thought it was very interesting. And then it just took me down this road of we're already kind of there. Why don't we just make it official? Let's make a website called peopleshares.com, and you have to put the money up front so we know it's not a Ponzi scheme. And so if you want to sell 100,000 shares of your life, you put 100,000 up so we know the money's there and people can buy a share and the share price goes up and down. I don't know if it's legal. I don't know if you would have the SEC involved or what, but that's kind of, I'd rather that. Let me just put it like this. As scary as that sounds, I would rather that than what we're doing right now. Take care. Thanks for listening.
I let it get under my skin. Now I'm writhing in agony. Memories tormenting me. These unwanted thoughts I cannot control, coming from my hidden world. Through doors that I've closed, cross bridges I've burned. Why is this happening? You haunt me. I'm running away. As fast as I can, as fast as I can. I'll stay away as long as it takes. I'm running away as fast as I can, as fast as I can. I'll stay away, but it's a shame I can't run away from me. Staring at the old wound won't do me any good. What is it I'm trying to prove? That it bleeds.